How's it going, Team Maryland fans? Welcome back to another episode of Meeting TM. We're here with the newly named Captain Evan Green. We're going to be showcasing his shot, as well as then we're going to have a sit-down chat, get to know our new captain a little bit. So let's head to the ice and get some shots in.
Alrighty.
So now that we've seen the rocket that Evan Green possesses, let's get to know him a little bit off the ice. How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Doing very, very well. Probably got a bit more energy than you. You said you're on the ice since like 11:30. So.
Yeah, I've been on the ice for a little bit today. I was out shooting with the goalies before practice.
Oh yeah. So as newly named captain, is that kind of something you feel like you've taken more responsibility, or do you just it's kind of business as usual for you?
I try to treat it as business as usual. Obviously, there's a lot more things now that I have to take responsibility for. I can't just pass off on other people and focus on myself. So that's a little bit of an adjustment, but for the most part, it's just act the same, treat everyone the same, play the same way.
So you were part of the group, part of the big group of this Team Maryland core that was Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knight last year, made it to the Frozen Finals. We've talked to Cody Rumsey, we've talked to Dennis Archipenko. How do you kind of take that experience as a leader in the room with the old guys and kind of take the new guys under your wing?
You know, just kind of like you said, having that experience. We have some young kids on the team, so kind of help them know, like, hey, it's not always going to be easy. Like, you're going to have bad games, you're going to have bad shifts, but just as long as you know what you did wrong and you're accountable for the mistakes you made, then at the end of the season, those are going to come a lot less frequently and the team's going to play a lot better.
Part of that Wilkes-Barre team was, of course, head coach Josh Fusco. How much do you like that, there's consistency in your coaching? Obviously, it's a new location for you, but the head coach and the way things are run is, I have to assume, pretty similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. A lot of the same rules, a lot of the same ways he wants us to prepare, and the expectations on the ice are the same that he's always had. When I saw Wilkes-Barre's EHL team was moving and they weren't going to be in Wilkes-Barre anymore and he wasn't going to be the coach there anymore, when I found out he got the job here, I was like, it made it real easy to decide to come play here.
Did he reach out to you? Did you reach out to him? How did that transition take place?
Well, I had found out from someone else, unfortunately, that the team had been bought by Seacoast, and so I called him and asked him what the deal was, and he told me just hold on, he was finding stuff out, and then once I found out he got another job in the EHL, and they, as well as Wilkes-Barre, Team Maryland has a Null team right in their rink. It was a pretty easy decision to come down here and play for him, because I know with him coaching the team, it wasn't going to be anything like it was last year.
Now, you mentioned the Null team in the same rink. How important is that to you?
It's huge. It motivates a lot of the kids. A lot of people skated with the Null team already. Just had our goalie yesterday on the ice with the Null team. You see it, it's right there in front of you. They're the same age as us, so kids just see what they're doing differently than us and try to figure out what it takes to get on their ice.
Have you skated with them before?
I have skated with them once, yes.
How different would you say is the pace from EHL to North American Hockey League?
Well, just in practice, it felt like a game speed. They're all competing. It's hard to be on an all roster, and a lot of people want to be there. And as soon as you just don't bring your 100% and someone else's 100% is better than what you're bringing, you're gone. So it's a battle on their practices, and we try to replicate that in our practices to get everyone's intensity up and make us better.
Now, I've seen you at a few of the Black Bear games. How would you compare their games to your games?
They're more crisp. Their passing's a little bit better. There's obviously like the top end talent there. Those kids are just phenomenal hockey players. We're pretty pretty blessed to see Wilmer Skoog play on a nightly basis because some of the things he does just drops your jaw.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not that far off. It's not impossible for kids in our locker room to get in theirs, but yeah, at the time being right now, it's kind of impressive watching their games and trying to strive to get to that level.
So you guys had a huge bounce back sweep last weekend,
Yes.
coming off a very, very difficult showcase. How does that kind of feel in the locker room when you bounce back like that?
Well, we were in the Seahawks game at the showcase. It came down to a couple penalties at the end, one goal game, then they score in the power play. That's a team that we've played tightly twice, and we don't think that was necessarily a bad game on our part, and we hope we see them in the playoffs. And then the Walpole game, we were short, and then with that little fiasco at the end, I think it kind of brought us together as a team a little bit. And so we knew we had two real big games that we needed 4 points out of in division against the Rough Riders, who are neck and neck with us in the standings. So that was a real big 4 points for us this past weekend.
When a game isn't going your way, like it wasn't in the showcase, what does it take for you mentally to be like, all right, come on, let's get together and let's make something happen here?
I mean, you just gotta know that there's always gonna be another shift. There's always gonna be another game. It's not the end of the world. Like, I'm a 99, and so sometimes, like, if I have a bad game, I'm like, oh, people saw that, they're not gonna want me. But you just have to know that there's a lot more hockey to be played. We've only played half our games, and just play the next shift. Like the last one didn't happen. You have to have a real short memory, yeah, you just really can't let your bad plays turn into more bad plays, because that's when it really affects you, because you're on the bench or in the stands.
So recently, you scored your first of the season. This was before the Rough Rider series. You scored your first, like we seen that slap shot. That's an absolute missile from the point. Found its way to the back of the net for the first time this year. How did that feel when that puck went in?
Well, that felt really good because actually I didn't score all of last season either. So that was my first goal in a long time. So if anyone saw the video with that, I was pretty animated after I went in the net. I was very excited.
And then, of course, you got the second one, overtime winner against the Rough Riders, and I'm sure that was just equally...
Yeah, that was huge just because, the first goal, we were up 3-2, so that made it 4-3. So it was a pretty big goal, gave us an insurance goal, but the overtime winner, just to win the game right then and there in that moment, it was pretty cool. Not something I do very often in my hockey career, so I enjoyed it while it lasted.
What's that feeling? Describe that feeling when you see the puck going in overtime off your stick, and then your teammates just come and mob you.
It was weird. I don't want to say I blacked out, but like I had 25 guys screaming in my face within 3 seconds, or just kind of all was a blur. I was just like very, very excited that the puck went in the net, because it's just a game we really, really needed to win.
Really important extra point there.
Yes.
And you mentioned last season you didn't score for the entire season.
Whole year.
How does that is that in your head at all when you're getting on the ice for a game?
It was. Last year I didn't really start to think about it up until about a month left of the year. It was like, man, I don't have a goal this year. It's kind of weird. But then we got to start playing some important, meaningful games, and all I cared about was winning, so I forgot about it for a little bit. And then season was over, didn't score in playoffs. Get to this year, I don't score in our first 15 or so games, 18 games, and after about game 10 of this year, I was like, all right, come on.
Gotta pop one in here.
We gotta pop one in, just get the monkey off the back. And yeah, the weekend before, I basically was playing fourth forward, trying to get that goal, and it just wasn't happening. And then we had a real big, another division rival, Little Flyers, come in, and so I just went back to playing the right way, making the right play, and I guess in that play, the right one was put in the back of the net.
Earlier in that game, too, the first goal of the game, you shoot it from the point, and it gets tipped in front and goes in.
Yes, I played with Dennis for a long time, and anytime I'm on the ice with him, I know if I put the puck in his area or put it towards the net and he's in the area, there's a good chance the puck's gonna end up in the net. So I got a lot of trust in him if he's on the ice to give him the puck.
Are there certain guys that you've obviously played with guys before and you have good chemistry with them? Are there certain guys that you kind of know when you're on the ice with them where they are, like a kind of a sixth sense almost?
Yeah, in a way, especially on the power play, I would say there's a lot of guys. I know where they're trying to be. I know where they want the puck. Like I said, Dennis Archipenko, he's one of the kids. I've played on his team. This is going to be my third season playing on his team, and good buddies, and just we know what each other's trying to do. Tristan Mock, he's the same way. I know where he wants the puck. He knows where I'm going to be, and just good little chemistry, I think, that we've built on the power play, and it's working so far.
So we've talked hockey a little bit. Now let's get to know you as a person a little.
Oh boy, here we go.
I know, the tough questions start now. Where'd you grow up?
I actually grew up in around St. Louis, Missouri, about 30 minutes north of St. Louis.
Blues fan?
Huge Blues fan, play Gloria.
Second one on the
Let's
team.
go.
Second interview in a row we've had as a Blues fan. Last time we had Tristan Mock on. He's a big Blues guy. So.
No, it's yeah, I'm on top of the world right now.
Oh, I bet.
We
I'm
got
sure.
the cup, and yeah, there's just not much more you can really ask for as a hockey fan than that.
For sure. So your parents, obviously, every junior hockey player, I feel like, has a very strong connection with family, because a lot of them, especially, in your case, you don't live at home. You're, what, 20 years old? And
Yes.
You're not living at home, so that's kind of, rough. They're still in St. Louis?
Yes.
So, they're hundreds of miles away. How does that how do you deal with that?
Well, this is my third year doing it, and I'm also the youngest of four, so it's not really that hard for me, just knowing that they've already sent 3 out. So I feel like they're at the point now where, like, all right, just go on. We're
Leave the
fine.
nest.
We've had the kids in the house. They've had that experience. Now they're doing just fine back home. One of my brothers is still at home right now with them, hanging out for a little bit. But yeah, when I first left, it was a lot harder, I'd say. Talk to them more frequently on the phone and always checking in with them. But now this is my third year doing it, and they kind of understand, like, I'm halfway across the country, they're on their own doing their thing, so it's a lot easier now.
Are they hockey? Is it a hockey family, or is it just your?
No, not really. I was the only brother who played hockey.
Really?
My other brothers, we all played baseball growing up, but one of them played soccer, one of them just played baseball. The other one, he pole vaulted in high school, so just did whatever we wanted. Parents never really pressured us into one specific area. And
So how did it come to hockey for you?
well, I was the youngest of four, obviously, like I said, and they beat me up all the time. They did, and today I thank them for it. I definitely wasn't thanking them back in the day, but it made me tougher. I was like, I kind of want to hit people. Like, I get beat up all the time at home. I want to go be able to hit people, and they said you could do that playing hockey. It was either hockey or football, and I was like, well, hockey looks fun, so I just started playing hockey one day and never looked back.
How old were you when you started?
I was 6 or 7.
Wow, so you're a bit of a later. I know.
Yeah, a
started
lot of
before.
kids play when they're 2 or 3,
Yeah.
but for me, I was just running around in the dirt and playing wiffle ball in my backyard when I was
Yeah.
2 or 3. I wasn't on the ice getting skating lessons.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Meeting TM. We're here with newly named Captain Evan Green. Be sure to join us next time when we talk to newly acquired George Foman. Once again, we thank you for joining us, and have a great day.